is my pleasure to welcome Sarah Jones, founder of My Anxious Dog, to our final talk of the National Human Animal Bond Awareness Day. So thank you so much for spending the time with us today. You've been out with the crowds. How's it been?
Yeah, really good, really good. It's been nice to be able to show what Yellow's all about.
That's a really good starting point because you mentioned that you've got an awareness day, which is the 20th of March, first day of spring, daffodils. And so, how did you get to yellow as a colour to represent what this is about?
Well, yellow's the official warning colour for caution.
Right.
So, and it's been used now since the year 2000 for dogs needing space. It was first introduced, I believe, in Australia. And it started with a yellow ribbon. I think it came from the horse world because if a horse kicked, people used to tie a red ribbon to the horse's tail to show that the horse kicked. And obviously the lady had a horse and was a dog trainer and combined the two things to show that the dog needed space. So
Okay.
that's what.
So, something along this line has been already in existence in Australia.
Yeah.
And then, what made you pick this up?
My dog's Bella.
Tell us about Bella.
So I'd never heard of an anxious dog or a reactive dog before, and I got Bella in 2012. She was 8 weeks old. From breeder probably isn't quite the right word, but for someone whose dog had had puppies, I think is the best way to put it. And Bella, I was told, was born into trauma. Her mum had to have an emergency cesarean, and one of the litter mates had died. So she came into the world in trauma, and yeah, it was a bit of a minefield for her, I think, because also when she was about 4 or 5 weeks old, she got bitten by one of the puppies, I think playing,
Right.
but it obviously hurt and scarred. So when we went to see her at 7 weeks old, she still had quite a wound on her back. So that was the start of my journey. So when I was told that, I still I was oblivious to it all. I still didn't think, Um, so yeah, so I went on to pick her up, and we picked her up at 8 weeks old, and she was a very good, quiet, shy puppy. We went to puppy training, and initially all the dogs were having basically a bundle out in front playing, and Bella just sat behind
Right.
the chair under the chair, not involved at all. No. And again, I just thought she was shy. I didn't understand it all.
Right.
So it progressed basically to the point that she'd been attacked a couple of times. The second time she got attacked, she was about a year old. A dog had came across the park, hit her full on and hit her in the ribs, had handbags, as we say. But I think when she was then stroked and touched, it hurt.
Right.
So she associated strangers and pain. So then,
Anybody coming towards?
anybody coming towards her, talking to her, touching her, then she felt, she felt the pain. So it became an issue for her. And it wasn't until she started growling and lunging at people
Right.
that I realised I had a problem. I was already aware that she was not confident around dogs, but when she started doing it to people, I was like, now I've got a problem.
So what did you do?
So I spoke to a dog trainer who I'd done all the classes with, and she told me about Yellow. And I thought, well, this is amazing. And I'd done some research on it, and there was literally next to nothing on the marketplace. And there certainly wasn't anything for Bella's voice. What I needed for Bella, I needed something quite direct, as in, do not touch me and keep away.
Right.
And it came up on my memory not very long ago on Facebook, me asking in local Facebook groups if anybody knew of any products like this. And there was a couple about on the marketplace, but they just didn't suit what I wanted. And for some reason, I was previously in the electronic industry, and for some reason I thought, I know what I do, I design my own.
Really? Okay.
And that's where it literally stemmed from.
Started from that point. Have you met many people along your journey who have experienced what you've experienced?
Yes, Yes.
And how do they talk to you about it? Is it through social media? How do you get to hear their stories?
Now on social media, because I have a, a fairly large following, but I do a lot of dog shows. I go to a lot of the dog shows, and I have a Yellow Space Zone now, and I sort of connect with them there. So yeah, it's really nice to be able to talk, because a lot of people think they're on their own as well. They think it's an unusual thing.
How do you raise awareness of what this means? I'm sure there's magazines and there's social media and there's the dog shows. How can we and the public help in getting out there the messages that you want to put across about yellow meaning anxious? Not bad, not naughty, not
Yeah.
aggressive, just nervous.
Yeah. So that is one of the biggest things as well I've had, is that people find it quite embarrassing to use the yellow. And I can relate to it, because I was obviously in those shoes to start with. But it's about accepting how your dog is really, really important. And the attitude, you can help them, but sometimes you can't always change. I've helped Bella, but it's certainly not gone away.
Okay.
So that's one of the things.
So you've got limitations about how much you can do for your dog?
Some dogs, it depends on what's happened to them. You know, like with Yellow, it can be rescue dogs that have been passed pillar to post, need to trust again, and need that space to be able to trust again. It could be a dog that's deaf or partially deaf, and then when a dog comes up behind or somebody touches the dog, it's startled. And obviously, when we get startled, sometimes we can shout, and if a dog does that, then they're bad.
Yeah.
And it's getting that acceptance of it's not a nasty dog or an aggressive dog that wears yellow. It's for all different reasons. And even if they do growl, it's what I try to say to people, it's they're communicating, they're talking to us, and it's us that are forming that opinion that they're bad dogs.
That comes down to us being able to read the signs of the dog, though, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And we've been talking about this today, is how do we increase awareness of the signs of whether it's anxiety or aggression or whatever it might be. How do we let those out on a walk know not to come near us? So a colour is one way, but it's about them understanding what that colour means. So you have got this pack you pulled together. Can you explain what's in the pack and how we can let people know about what yellow means?
Yeah, so a lot of people will say to me, yellow's really good, but nobody knows what it means, or expect to buy something and then everybody would know what it means. But we're a minority. So what I've put together, because I needed it for myself, is an awareness pack that I can use in my local area. So it will have poo bin stickers on it.
Great idea.
So that you can put around your local park. It has the exclusive Yellow Army badge that engages in conversation. It might be something simple, but the amount of people said, well,
What's that mean? Yeah.
What's the Yellow Army? We have car stickers. We have a little cartoon that just explains, this is obviously Bella, what she looks like if she goes out without her yellow, and all these thoughts that go on in her head. And then obviously it shows how she is.
Bella.
Yeah, a calmer, confident Bella. And then leaflets and posters, and these are for people to put up in their vets or local dog cafes or even pubs, pet shops,
Great.
library.
Yeah.
You know, all
Anywhere that's social.
Yeah.
community.
Yeah.
I'll just read this. I thought this was really, really on point. So it's, if you see a dog in yellow, please don't be judgmental. A little kindness and understanding and the important space they need can make all the difference. And we need that sometimes, don't we? But sometimes we can take ourselves away from the situation, which you can't do. Your dog can't choose to do that.
No. So that's what this is all about too. Because if everybody with an anxious dog that uses yellow, if everybody done this in their area, it would be huge. But it's getting over that acceptance, and it can be difficult. And also as well, when you're walking and you've got your dog on a lead and someone's trying to get their off-lead dog to come away from you and it's not listening, they're getting angry at their dog, but they're getting angry. So then you could then go and say something to them, and before you know,
There's a lot of posts, isn't there, on social media,
yeah.
experiences of people. And in your experience, what is the best way to manage anxiety with the dog when you're out and about? And you've got a few little
Yes, yeah. So I find a calmer walk starts with yellow. So I never now walk Bella without her yellow, because she is a dog in yellow. I did actually once, we went away to some friends, I forgot to put her harness and lead in the car after I put Bella in there. And I felt so vulnerable taking her out myself, because she just looked normal. And she, you know, in the world we are today, she's not, you know, she has her issues. And there's also other things that we can do. So it makes me feel calmer, which is a good thing. It shows visually to people that we need space. And then we have things like a calming spray. So I work a lot with Pet Remedy, and there's a calming spray that you know, they do. And we spray it on the harnesses. We can spray it on our legs. We can, you know, when we're out, there's wipes and other things. We have a product called a Squeezy Reward that can attach to you, that your dog will learn to look at and distract from. And it's about licking. You can put cheese and things like that in there. And licking's quite calming for dogs as well. And also, if they're focused on that, they're not looking at what's going on close behind you and things like that. So,
have you had many experiences of dogs off a lead coming up to Bella?
yep, I try and remain calm. So back in the day, you can become a reactive dog and a reactive dog owner as well.
Sure.
So you have to sort of like try and breathe. I try and think, right, they've never experienced this, as long as they're kind as well. So I do try and explain what's happened to Bella. She's been attacked and the reason why and what yellow's all about. And then hopefully that person will then go on to know that if they ever see another dog wearing yellow, they'll then know. But yeah, I have had a couple of instances. I had one not very long ago where I came across a woman that was actually really, really nasty. And we were just walking down a narrow path. And Bella hadn't actually done anything. She was walking quite slow. So she stopped and turned around, and she was with a friend, and I just asked if I could just come by. And she kicked off at me straight away.
Right.
And I got so angry within myself that when we did pass, and again, Bella didn't actually even do anything, but when we did get past, I sort of went to the side and sat down. I actually done a video because I was so angry within myself, it brought me to tears. That this is what happens to us when we're just going out for a walk with our dogs. What can happen. It's just such a big thing if someone would just put their dog on a lead just for maybe 30, 40 seconds.
Hear that in the background there. Do you work with rescues and dog charities? How do you get your name out there?
I try and work with anybody that will listen to me. I work with vets, I work with companies, I work with, all sorts of companies that will,
And do you find that, there's always this thing of, it's a great thing to have dogs at work, but it depends on the dog, doesn't it? So people might think that it'd be a great idea to bring their dog to work, but if it's not a confident dog and it's surrounded by other dogs, it's not always the right thing to do.
No. And it's like lots of debates that go on social media. You should know, I would never take Bella through a busy competition or, we've done agility, we've done man trailing, we've done all sorts of hobbies, but we do it locally.
Right.
And I make sure that whoever I do it with, they understand about dogs in yellow and their acceptance of that. Bella will always do it in her yellow, but I would never go to a massive show with her. But then if a dog is wearing yellow because of another reason, and they just need a little bit of space because maybe they're just partially blind or maybe deaf, they don't have, issues with other dogs or people, then I think that they should be able to go and be accepted, but still the respect for the yellow.
Have there been other companies produce other colours which might confuse what you're trying to do?
There are a few other people. So someone will like pink or purple, and then ask somebody to make something with pink or purple on with the word in, like say, keep dogs away or something. and then expect everybody to
Understand what it means.
understand what it means. And then that's not fair on the other dog owners. You know, we've got to try and work together to make it a little bit easier. So yellow is the official warning colour for caution. So if we all promoted the yellow, it would be a lot easier for everyone.
So breeders, vets, dog groomers, dog
Yeah.
shops. Where else would you like to reach out to people to engage with you?
I think any of those things that people that you've spoken about, but anybody in the general public.
Okay.
Because if I walk Bella through here, it's all different types of people from all different industries.
Yeah.
They could be cake makers, you know, all sorts of painters, artists, you know, and they all can possibly have dogs. So it can be anybody that can help with raising awareness.
And we spoke about there's Cat Anxiety Month, isn't there, in March? And then there's your day, which is the 20th. Have you got any activities planned for next year? Is there anything you'd like to see happen?
I have just started to try and plan an awareness walk, and I wrote to the Crown Estate.
Right.
I thought I'll go high, and I might be in my local park, but they said yes.
Fantastic news.
So yeah, so I'll be doing something with the Crown Estate in March, but I would like to also do something local, a few things locally as well.
Where are you based?
In Berkshire.
Okay, of course you're. Hence we're here today at the bar. Yeah, I can get it out. So when you're dealing with anxiety with dogs as well, is there anywhere else that you would refer dogs or dog owners to get advice? So although this is part of it, what else would you suggest as an anxious dog owner yourself that might benefit the dog? And you mentioned Pet Remedy, but is there anything else that you would try and encourage that owner to do?
Well, always work with a trainer or a behaviourist. So that's the first avenue, but also make sure that it's a positive reward trainer as well.
Right.
I work a lot with Nikki French, she actually wrote a book called Stop Walking Your Dog. That's all about games and confidence building as well. So yeah, that's really important to do. The yellow, all those things, vet checked, make sure there's no pain, work with the trainer and behaviourist to give you the tips. But when you've done all those things, that's when I struggled, and that's why the yellow became so important. Was I'd done all those things, and then obviously you have to go out on your own, and it's quite scary to start with when you go out and try it without any of those things.
And are you the big dog shows explaining this? Have you got any campaigns coming up that we can talk about?
Not really. So Dogs in Yellow is an everyday thing for me. I've got lots of shows coming up in August and September. We're going to the North East Dog Festival in Newcastle. We're doing some of the dog fests. We're doing Paws in the Park. And I drive all over the UK, and on the back of my camper van, it has in big yellow letters, #Dogs in Yellow Need Space. So I'm always raising awareness wherever I go.
Yeah. It would be great to get whether it's stickers on food or anything like that, just to, like you say, raise awareness at every pickup point.
Yeah.
Because not everybody does take their dog to the vets. So how do we let those owners know that means something?
Yeah, no, that is a very good idea. I do work with a company quite closely that helped me with the yellow space zones with food.
Right.
So maybe that's something I can talk to them about.
Yeah, it should be marketing. Yeah. Yeah. Is there any messages you'd like to get out? You've got an opportunity now to speak to the public. What would you like to tell them, apart from the fact, this is what it means?
Yeah.
A bit of respect for it?
Yeah, a bit of kindness.
Okay.
A bit of kindness, because people tend to look at the owner and tut and think, you're not training your dog, you need to knock this out of your dog, and it's just kindness, because people don't realise what I've heard some horrific stories, and obviously I'm sure you have as well, and being at the rescue centre. Some of these people are taking on such traumatised dogs that if they didn't give them the care and attention that they are trying to work with, that you don't know what could happen. So they're amazing people that work with some of these dogs, and just to give them just a little bit of kindness, a smile and a little bit of space, it is everything to people with anxious dogs in yellow.
So if we can get people to go to your website, you've got social media platforms as well.
Yep.
Well, have you got a YouTube channel yet?
I have,
There you
yes.
go. Okay, what's on there?
Me.
Good.
Me and Matt.
Okay.
Yeah, just some experiences and some tips and things like that. You know, it's something that now videos is becoming a lot more in the social media world rather than it used to be posts on Facebook and everything. It's all now about videos. So I'm learning my way with videos and talking about it.
Do you have stories from people that you've sold your items to that have had success and it's helped them?
Yeah, so I've got a lot of testimonials and case studies in writing and things like that. But I just know myself that the difference yellow can make. And yeah, it can be hard. It can be really, really hard. But I try and say to people, because a lot of people say to me, I don't want to label my dog. And I always say to them, you're not labeling, you're doing it because it's your dog's voice almost. Because of people can't read body language. I couldn't, I'm just an owner of an anxious dog and I missed it all. So this is a really good way to show what your dog's trying to say that we can't read. And we do it because we love them. And that's why the heart is a massive part of our brand.
I think one thing we picked up from today is the importance of reading dogs' signals.
Yeah.
It's been in most talks we've spoken about today. And starting that early, whether it's at school, at every touch point, again, is getting people to understand the signs that a dog are telling us and to educate ourselves.
Yes, massively. Yeah.
Important.
Yeah.
But is there any questions from the audience?
What can we in veterinary practices, apart from putting posters, but sometimes, remove is the most something and it rotates, like, very fortunate to have a badge.
A lovely badge.
Can we just get a little more vet youth campaign going?
Yes, so I do partner packs for companies and dog trainers and behaviourists and people like that to get involved. They can buy packs for themselves so that they can use. I'm trying to I worked recently with the dog training school about encouraging a trainer, no matter what they're training, whether it's puppy or reactivity or whatever the class is, to always talk about yellow first in the class. So if they've done that, it's also then becomes a thing, just a normal thing that is like, oh yeah, they talked about it, so they will learn even if they don't have an anxious dog.
They know what it means.
And they know what it means as well. And then also if troubles do start, then they like, oh, like my trainer told me about the yellow. So, and it's encouraging then.
Some more awareness.
So maybe at vaccination times, you can say your dog may not be reactive, but if you see a dog, maybe your body get used to just spam back. Be sure your hobby so right not to have to say hello to every dog.
Yeah. Yeah, but I think a massive help is even just the simple thing of putting a poster up in the vet's waiting room. That's the amount of people that come in and out.
Yeah, Brie. Thank you so much for your time and being here today. And I hope you managed to explain what this means to some of the clientele that will come along today. So thank you.
Thank you.